Welcome back to Talk That Talk with Diva Speaks Relationships. My name is Angela Patarial, and we have another letter. This one, I got a point of reference, so let's get into it and let's talk about it. Again, this particular letter that I found in my inbox after sifting through, because sometimes the letters get a little bit repetitive, but this one, let's talk about it. I'm about to pull this up and I want to have a conversation, if that's okay with you. Once again, let's start over with the introduction. Welcome to Talk That Talk with Diva Speaks Relationships. My name is Angela Patarial. Here is the question in the inbox. What are some ways to deal with, to handle a spouse who no longer wants to be in a marriage? Once again, the question posed to me, okay? What are some ways to deal with or handle a spouse who no longer wants to be in the marriage? So let me start off by first saying the realest answer I can give you: acceptance. Acceptance. Yeah, you need to accept that the person that you married, the person that you took vows with, who you made the commitment to, has decided that they no longer want to be married to you. You have to accept that. See, I'm going to give you what I called in a previous Talk That Talk edition, the cliff notes to this, okay? You have to accept the fact when a person no longer wants to be in a relationship with you. I know you don't want to hear it. I know it breaks your heart. I know that it shatters all the dreams, okay? You feel like your investment, your time, everything you poured into this relationship, this marriage, is now going down the drain. But you got to accept it. Because the truth of the matter is, you cannot force someone to stay with you or be with you, or to remain committed to you. When a person comes to you and tell you, I no longer want to be married, or I want a divorce, I don't care what people tell you, what religious organization tries to convince you, what faith tells you to stay and suffer through it, you got to accept when a person no longer wants you. You got to accept it. Now, to be fair and to be practical about it, I'm not sure, or it wasn't mentioned, if you could see this coming. If you guys were having problems prior to them, your spouse coming to you and saying, I want a divorce, or I don't want to be married to you anymore. I'm not sure what happened prior to that. But it's only natural that you will want to know why. Why are you choosing this as the results, or this is the end goal? Why are you not having a conversation with me about trying to fix whatever is broken? That's natural. You want to know. You want to know what's wrong. If you don't know, how can we fix it? How can I fix it? How can you work on something better if we try it this way? Or can we try it another way? Or can we take a step back from one another and see, what can be done? Or is there someone else? It's natural that you would want to know why. Why is this your answer to whatever problem you think that we can't overcome? It's natural to want to have that conversation, but let me tell you something. You cannot talk a person into staying with you who has made up their mind that they don't want to be in that marriage or that relationship with you anymore, okay? You can't talk your way back into their heart if their heart has been hardened towards you, okay? And you cannot make a person remain faithful and committed to you if they have chosen someone else. See, there's a lot of whys. There's a lot of reasons that people choose to leave. And as I said in a previous show, you may not agree with any of them. You could understand some of them. But at the end of it all, you have to accept. Acceptance is the key word. When a person says, I don't want to be with you anymore, you got to take your hands up off of that marriage, that relationship, and that person. And you got to say, you know what? This is not what I want. It's not what I want. Okay? I would rather the two of us fight for this relationship, this marriage, so we can stay together. But you can't be in there fighting by yourself. It takes two people. It takes two people to put in the work. I know because, I come from a Christian background. People are going to tell you stay and fight and pray your way through it. But at the end of the day, you can stand still all you want to and pray for somebody that don't want to be with you. You have to accept the fact that after all the praying you could do or will do, all the fasting and all the standing still and placing your life on hold, you got to be okay with the fact. You've got to be okay with the fact that they may not ever come back. You got to be okay with the time that you're going to invest into trying to win them back over, into trying to convince them to stay. You got to be okay with the fact that if you do all of this and trying to convince them to stay with you and remain married to you, they may not ever be convinced. You may not ever win them over, and they still may walk away. Are you okay with wasting your life and sitting still, hoping somebody will choose you again? That's all I got to say about that. There's so much I could say about that, but I'm just going to leave it right there. Make sure that you can accept when a person no longer wants to be with you. Your husband has told you he wants out. Your wife has told you she wants out. Okay? The only thing you can do at this point is to show them what life will be like without you moving forward. And hopefully, if you've had a good enough marriage, if you've had a good enough relationship, then those good memories and the what word do I want to say? The type of relationship that you guys had prior to getting to this point will be something that they will recall and something that they will miss. And that will draw them back in to wanting or having the desire to rekindle whatever has died or fix whatever is broken. But I think, in my humble opinion, the worst thing you can do is beg a person to stay with you when they done made up their mind that they don't want you anymore. That's harsh, I know it, but that's the reality. I think a lot of people will be a hell of a lot happier if you get it the first time. The first time somebody tells you that they are unhappy with you, take your hands up off it. The first time somebody says that they want out, they want a divorce, they want to break up, believe them. Save yourself a lot of time. Okay? Save yourself a lot of time from wasting time and giving yourself false hope that things will somehow be different if. No, it takes two. It's going to take the two of you to want that marriage, to want that relationship in order for it to work. It takes two. I don't get, well, if from a biblical standpoint, from a faith-based standpoint, it would take three. Of course, I'm not leaving God out of it. However, I am saying the two people in the marriage, it's going to take the two of them to want to keep that marriage together. Not one person saying, I want out, and the other person running up behind them trying to convince them to stay. Guys, if you are just now tuning in to this part of the letter, let me tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about a letter that I received, okay, in which some devastating news has been delivered to someone, and they want to know what are some ways to deal with or handle a spouse. We're not talking about a boyfriend. We're not talking about a baby mama or daddy. We're not even talking about a significant other. We're talking about a spouse who no longer wants to be in a marriage. They want to know how to deal with it, what to do. And I told you guys from the beginning of this letter that this is one I have a point of reference because I am just now in a position to be able to draw from my experience and speak to you guys about it. Not putting you in my business because I'm not that type of woman, okay? However, I don't mind sharing when it's necessary. I told the person that has wrote in, accept it. That's the Cliff Notes. That's the short answer. Accept it. When a person don't want to be with you no more, you can't talk your way back into somebody's life. You can't talk them into recommitting to the marriage. We're talking about a marriage. So when a person has come to you and say, look, I want out. I don't want to be married no more. It's only reasonable to think they put some thought into that. They thought about it. And whatever is drawing them, okay, outside, okay, pulling them away from the marriage. Oh, because there's always a reason. You best believe there's always a reason. Some of the reasons could be internally. There could be some issues going on within the marriage that has brought it to this point. There could be some built up frustration in the spouse, okay, some resentment, some unresolved matters in the home. It could be a host of things inside of the home. I don't want you guys to think I got it twisted. However, if the problems aren't in the home and within the marriage that is causing your spouse to want out, there's always an outside influence that is a part of the reason that they have arrived at this decision that they don't want to be married anymore or married to you anymore. Okay? Don't be stupid. So I'm saying that the best thing you can do in this matter is just accept it. Begin to envision your life without them. Because chances are, if they brought it to you, they've already thought through it and they are prepared to walk away. So now is the time to start preparing yourself mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually for the journey you are about to take. Okay? You're going from being in a stable, hopefully committed marriage to looking at possibly separation or divorce. Well, they told you they wanted a divorce. Now it's time to start looking out for yourself, making sure that you're okay, and making sure that you do everything you can, okay, on your way out to make things, the transition as, I don't know what to say to that, because I know firsthand what that's like. You know, you want to say make the transition smooth, but there's nothing smooth about a divorce when one person wants a divorce and already has one foot out the door and the other person is blindsided, which is the instance, what it appears to be in the person that wrote in, kind of blindsided that the spouse just wants out. You have a long road ahead of you. I would encourage you to get a support system. I would encourage you, if a divorce is inevitable, hire a good attorney and accept it. You may have to have some therapy to get through it, and that's okay. Hell, a therapy is a good thing. You may have to have and hire a therapist to help you maneuver through this difficult time that you are going through and you're about to continue to go through. But I would say to you, the worst thing you can do is to grovel, is to beg and to plead and try and convince somebody to stay with you who has made up their mind that they want a divorce. If they want out, give them what they want. Send them on their way. Because you don't want nobody in your home, in your life, and being married to someone and you're not at peace. Because even if you stay with them, even if they change their mind next week, you're going to have to sit with the thought that at some point they were thinking about leaving you and you didn't even know when the thought started. They came to you once they reached the conclusion. Let that sink in for a minute. You see what I'm saying? This is something that you're going to have to deal with. Again, even if they change their mind tomorrow and your spouse is like, you know what? This happened. I'm sorry I even brought it up. Can we move past this? That has built some trust issues in your relationship, because again, you're going to always wonder, if you did it to me before, you're capable of doing it to me again. Like, when did you start having these thoughts that you didn't even want to be with me in this marriage anymore? And when you had that first thought, why didn't you come to me? No, you came to me once you made up your mind. You didn't come to me when you started having these reoccurring thoughts about not wanting to be married, whatever was driving you to not want to be married. You didn't come to me and say, hey, I'm having these thoughts. Let's go get some counseling. Let's talk about it. Let's sit down and discuss this, and a third. No, you sat there with the thought of leaving the marriage. And once you came to the conclusion and you were solid in the decision that you made, then you brought it to me and you were like, I want out. See, that's what I want you to think about. That's the seed that has been planted. I wish you well. I really do. But you have a long road ahead of you, no matter what route you go. Again, you can do what you want to do, but always accept what a person tells you when they say anything close to not wanting to be in your life, in your marriage, or in a relationship with you anymore. Acceptance is the key to you moving on and you experiencing a life without them. And you can be in a marriage where you won't have to wonder if one day they're going to blindside you with this. I mean, it's always possible, right? Anything's possible, but this is terrible. This is the absolute worst. So this has been Talk That Talk with Diva Speaks Relationships. My name is Angela Patrayal. Until the next time, toodles.